Hi, this is Liquid 22. Let's talk basketball. Today I'm going to give you my pick on who I think in the next 3 years is going to be the best point guard in the league. You want to take a guess? No, it's not Trae Young. And no, it's not Ja. No, it's not Luka. And no, it's not LaMelo. Still want to take a guess? Well, in my mind, in my opinion, the guy that's going to be the best point guard in the league, barring that he doesn't take any injury, is going to be none other than Darius Garland. And I'm going to give you my reasons today on why I feel so. Well, where do I begin? Well, let's start with Trae. Trae's a phenomenal player, phenomenal point guard. But Trae's problem is that I think he scores a little bit too much, and I think he's just a little bit too much of a ball hog. I think if Trae learned to move without the ball a little bit better and just trust his teammates a little bit more, I think that his team overall would have a lot more success. Now, let's go to Ja. Well, okay, let's talk about him. Ja, to me, reminds me of a Allen Iverson with more leaping ability and a little bit less handles without a great jump shot. And let me explain. I think Ja's claim to fame is that he can just dunk over everybody. But if Ja takes an injury, are we talking about Ja? If we look at Ja, last year, for instance, the times that Ja was out of the game, Memphis did, if not just as good, maybe even a little bit better with their backup point guard. And he's his name is his name's eluded me right now. I'm sorry, guys. But getting back to Ja, I think if Ja takes an injury, there's no more Ja. I think Ja's got to work on his mid-range game a little bit more and his three-point game. I just don't think of Ja as a great shooter. I just think of him as just a great finisher, just, leaping over guys and dunking on them. But like I said, if he takes a knee injury, I just don't think that Ja's relevant. I could be wrong. I don't want him to get injured, but it's just my opinion. Now, let's get to Luka. You might say, Liquid, you're crazy. And you wouldn't be the first. Listen, Luka's already that guy. Luka has exceeded everyone's expectations. I mean, he's gone far in the playoffs. He's definitely a phenomenal leader. He's a great player. He comes up big in the playoffs. He's not afraid to take that shot. He's not afraid to take over. But I think there are two problems with Luka. And this is just my opinion, and I could be dead wrong. But my two problems with Luka, or where I think Luka suffers, is one, he's a high usage player. So let me explain. Okay, Luka, he can have a high scoring game. Let's say he has 40 points. Let's say he has, 15 rebounds and 11 assists. I think, Luka can have a good game. The team can even win. But Luka has to have that ball all the time in order for that to happen. I think Luka should work on, and, he might do it now, just maybe he just doesn't do it as much. But I think Luka needs to move without the ball a little bit more, and his team will have a lot more success. Maybe, even getting to the finals. Now, my other problem with Luka is this, and and I think this is why they acquired Kyrie. Is Luka is just not really fast in the open court. So Luka, he plays more of a slow-paced game, and I think that kind of holds his team back. I think they aren't able to really just get out there and just run and get some easy dunks, and in my mind, the Mavs, they used to use, it was another little smaller guard that they used to use in fast court situations where he'd actually push the break. And I think that's why they actually went out and drafted Kyrie. And I think Kyrie plays point guard and Luka now plays 2 or he plays 3. I think Luka, to make that next step, if they don't keep Kyrie and they want to put him back at point guard, is for him to get, better in the open court, actually push the ball. I don't know if that's necessarily Luka's game. Maybe he might be more effective as a 2 or 3. But, I think that really holds him back as far as, and I think those are the only 2 things, really him being able to get his team a lot more easier points, in the open court. Outside of that, I have no problem with Luka. I think, like I said, Luka is a phenomenal player. He's already that guy. He's already exceeded expectations. I mean, I think the only other thing for Luka to do, honestly, is just win a championship. But he's a phenomenal player. Now, lastly, my last player that, I said I was comparing Darius to was LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo, to me, oh my gosh, he's just got so much talent. Now, on the defense, I'm not really sure what LaMelo does or does not do, but just really on the offensive side of the ball, his passing is phenomenal. LaMelo, to me, reminds me of a Pete Maravich, if that makes sense. He reminds me of a Pete Maravich, his game. I really think the only thing that really holds LaMelo Ball back from really, just being the best point guard, maybe not even the best upcoming player in the league, is his jump shot. To me, LaMelo's jump shot, the form is, in my opinion, horrible. I really think it holds him back. I really think if he cleaned that jump shot up, got a normal form, whatever that is, but got a normal form, not got a normal form, worked on his 3-point shot, knocked down his threes and got a good mid-range game, there'd be nothing stopping LaMelo. LaMelo is a phenomenal player. I just think a lot of people forget about him, but I really just think that jump shot is really what holds him back. I think if he got that jump shot and just really got, in my mind, got serious. I think LaMelo practices, and I'm not knocking his work ethic. Obviously he is overachieved. He's really overachieved, and he's really had a lot of pressure on him, his journey to the NBA. But I just think if he really cleaned up his jump shot, got a better form, worked on his 3, and worked on a mid-range, off the dribble jump shot, gosh, what he could be. But that's a decision for him to make. Now let's get to Darius. Where do I begin? With all those shortcomings that I mentioned of all those players, I really don't see any of them on the offensive side for Darius. On the offensive side of the ball, Darius is a complete player. He's a complete point guard. I just think, he just flies under the radar. I think he was drafted third in his class. I could be wrong about that, in this draft class. Uh, but I just really think Darius flies under the radar. But what this guy is, what he does on the floor, it's just amazing. You know, um, Man, I mean, let's talk about court vision. He has something you cannot teach. You can't teach it. You just cannot teach what he's able to do. As far as him just making basic passes to get the offense started, to get a play going, or for him to make a scoring pass like Magic Johnson used to say. I mean, as a passer, Darius is just a prodigy. I don't know if that's the right word, but he's amazing. Let's talk about him playing off the ball. Wow. He reminds me a lot, and you guys might call me crazy for saying this, but he reminds me in this way a lot like Steph Curry. This guy moves without the basketball. I mean, so well. You know, he's really a selfless player, and to be a point guard and to say that, it's just amazing. I mean, he doesn't have to have the ball. The ball doesn't have to be in his hands, for a play to be made. He's able to play with good twos and good threes, and usually good ones don't play with good twos or good threes because both have to have the ball. Not Darius. When Donovan Mitchell came to the Cavs, I was wondering if there was going to be enough ball for both of them. That hasn't been a problem. Darius is able to work with Donovan Mitchell. He's able to work with Karis LeVert, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anybody. But, just being able to play off that ball, and get to his spot, knock down a shot, or flash to the lane and make a layup, or get the ball and make that extra pass. Darius is able to do it. Let's get to his jump shot. Phenomenal. I mean, he's got a good three-point shot. Now, what his percentages are, guys, I'm not going to lie. I don't know offhand. But if Darius takes that three, when I give him that eye test, I feel that it's going in. And something that Darius does that I don't see a lot of point guards or players of today do is really be able to take a 20 to 15 foot off the dribble, or being able to do a catch and shoot mid-range jump shot. I really think that's a lost art. I think that opens up his game a lot, a whole lot. Now, when we talk about scoring in the lane, what can he do? In my mind, Darius can go right hand, left hand. He can give you a nice floater. He can give you a finger roll. What can he do in the lane? He's a phenomenal scorer. That's all I can think of as far as his offensive skills. I'm sorry if I missed anything, but now I'm going to really just touch kind of his weaknesses. And I see two. And those two are, I think in order for the Cavs to take that next step and really go all the way, Darius has got to be the floor general. Darius has got to come into his own. He's got to. I mean, Donovan, he's a phenomenal player. But in my mind, I don't think he's better than Darius. I think that Darius is the best player on that team. You guys can call me crazy, but that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it. I think that Darius has got to be the one that leads the team. I do. I don't think Darius has got to be the one that takes all the shots, but I think he has to be the one to make sure the right guy gets the shots. The only other thing that I can think of that is a weakness for Darius, and this is something that he is just going to have to fight for, is his defense. As great as Darius is, I don't think that he's athletic. I don't know if he's, very fast, just very fast. He's fast enough, he's quick, but I just don't know how much raw speed he has. But that being said, I see the effort. He's just got to do a few things, in my opinion, to get better. He's got to get stronger. He's got to learn to just have great anticipation. And I really think it comes down to his strength, his conditioning. His stamina seems to be good, but just, adding to that, just getting better condition. But he's got to get stronger. And he's got to learn to fight through picks. But I think, in my mind, Darius has got to, for him to reach his full potential, he has got to have what I call the Scottie Pippen mentality. He's got to be the one that really takes the initiative and takes that and owns that leadership role on the defensive side. I don't necessarily think that to be the best defender, you've got to be the most athletic. I think that you have to work on your athleticism as far as your strength, speed drills, and things of that nature, as I've said before. But I think that you really have to work on your anticipation. And I think that you have to play chess instead of checkers on the defensive side of the ball. And that just comes with studying tape, studying your players, just learning situational basketball. And I know he can do it because on the offensive side, he's phenomenal. So I think if he applies what he has already in his head as far as his IQ for offense, and he takes that to the defense, I think that he can really be a good to maybe great defender. And if he takes that leap on the defensive side, there is no stopping this guy. I think I see in 3 years him being the best point guard out there. I see him, barring no injury, that he can even lead his team to an NBA championship. And you can call me crazy, but I'm sticking with that. Well, guys, that's going to be all. But, I'm just going to say a few things before I go. Listen, if you've got to this point with me in this video, I thank you so much. I know I rambled. This is my first video. I'm extremely nervous. So thank you for getting to this point with me. If you like the video and I've earned it, hey, I would appreciate a like and a subscription, but only if I've earned it. If you think that I'm worthy, hey, pass this along because I like more people to see it. I'm not giving up. This is what I've wanted to do for so long, for years. And fear of failure, not try. But I'm going to tell you what, regardless if I get no views, regardless if I get 1 view, regardless if I get 100 views, today I have succeeded. It might not be the success that I wanted, but I tried. And I didn't fail because I did it. Well, listen, guys, thank you. And thank you for letting me talk basketball with you. Have a nice one.